Police lights and sirens and a mystery tonight. A man is supposedly missing, maybe kidnapped from right here. It's a crime story about what we don't know yet. News 13's 11 minutes of nonstop news begins now. Hello, everyone. I'm Ross Beck.
And I'm Kathy Ray. Witnesses say a man was dragged from an apartment and kidnapped. But who is he and where is he tonight? Also, the feds are now following Las Vegas gambling cash to find terrorists, and a local story of courage, just like Christopher Reeve. But we begin tonight with confusion. Police say they think it was a carjacking and a kidnapping.
And they know whoever was taken is apparently still missing tonight, but it is what they don't know that has them frustrated. Now, this is where it happened in North Las Vegas, an apartment complex at Belmont and Tabor. And that's where News 13's Veronica Sanchez is right now. Veronica.
Well, Ross, it really is bizarre. Police tell us they think this whole thing is drug-related, but at the same time, they can't even agree on how many victims there are out here. Police don't know exactly what happened inside this apartment.
Apparently there had been a struggle.
Witnesses say someone living here was dragged out by at least two men, bound and gagged, they say, and pushed into an SUV.
As far as I know, we only have one victim as far as I know.
Not so, says Esmeralda Hernandez Rodriguez, who says a man who was tied up came knocking on her door. The man asked her for a knife to cut himself loose, and then he took off running. She never saw him again. Neither did police. But is that man the kidnap victim? Well, no one knows. Then there's the guy who was carjacked. This guy. Police say the two kidnappers took this guy's car and put the first victim inside. Are you following this?
Apparently that car was stolen from somebody earlier this afternoon.
But that's not what police are telling us now. They say this guy was visiting someone at the apartment and got caught up in the struggle. Confused? Well, so are the people living near here, the ones who saw more than one victim. We'll call him Jose. This kid says he saw everything.
We saw some people running around with some white stuff on their hands. They were running around telling people if they could take it off.
Whatever happened, it's obvious there was more than one victim, maybe two, maybe even three. But police still don't have a name for any of them, and they don't even know if there is a victim at this point. But if there is, he is missing. Now, I know what you're thinking, that maybe police don't really have a handle on this situation. Well, they do. They just say they're having a hard time getting witnesses to cooperate with them because they fear retaliation. And even the victims in this crime aren't really helping police out with much information. And that's really what is baffling police officers at this hour. Now, we do have a vehicle description. This is the car that police are looking for tonight. It's a 1993 red GMC Yukon. It's got the word Durango printed on the back of the truck, and it's got large chrome rims. Now, police say if they find this car, they should have some more answers in this bizarre crime story. Reporting live from the north end of town, Veronica Sanchez, News 13, inside Las Vegas.
New since 6 o'clock, the nation's drug czar says he is coming to Nevada to fight the legalization of marijuana. We want to show you that's John Walters right there in our News 13 studio here last month. Come next month, he'll be visiting Las Vegas and Reno again to lobby against Question 9 on November's ballot. The initiative would allow adults to have up to 3 ounces of pot. It would have to pass again in 2004 before becoming law. Walters will also visit Arizona, Ohio, and South Dakota, where they're also considering legalizing marijuana. Now, remember the country's war on drugs? For a very long time, the U.S. had been trying to apprehend 2 Mexican brothers who ran that nation's largest drug cartel. Well, now, one is dead, the other is in prison. But the drug flow continues stronger than ever. And that's the focus of tonight's Nightline right after our broadcast.
Also new tonight, the tight race for Nevada's Attorney General is turning into a fight over campaign contributions. The battle is over $160,000 given to Democrat John Hunt. The money, nearly a quarter of Hunt's total, came from one company, Veston Mortgage. Republican Brian Sandoval's campaign chairman says many of the donations came from low-level employees, a little here, a little there, to get around that single contribution limit. Hunt's campaign is denying the allegation. Just a side note now, the candidates who lost in the primaries earlier this month, they must have all those ugly campaign signs off the street by midnight.
She could get 26 years for a fling with one of her students. Tomorrow morning, Tanya Haddon will learn her fate. Police found the California woman and her 15-year-old student at a hotel on the Strip back in May. She's been in jail ever since. Now, these are pictures from one of her numerous court appearances here in Clark County. Now, besides the possible 26 years, Haddon also faces charges in California. It's a story you heard first here on News 13. Las Vegas casinos are being forced to help the Secret Service find terrorists.
Yeah, it's all part of a federal plan to prevent the financing of terrorism with money laundered on the Las Vegas Strip. News 13's Scott Burton picks up the story for us.
In a world of heightened terrorism awareness, the U.S. Treasury Department is ordering casinos nationwide to be even more alert. The chance of terrorist money laundering has the Secret Service worried.
And the importance of money laundering investigations has certainly come into a much sharper focus.
Terrorists need money to operate, and there's concern Al-Qaeda may try to pass phony cash or wash dirty money through casinos to fund terror attacks. So now a nationwide reporting system's emerging. It requires casino employees to report to the feds any transaction over $5,000 that appears to be suspicious.
But certainly all of the people that are working on the floor will need to be intimately aware of what the requirements are and how to go about making the reporting effective and timely.
For years, Nevada's monitored itself through the State Gaming Commission without having to send volumes of paperwork to Washington. And one industry heavyweight says it's been working just fine.
I think the Treasury Department took a step they didn't have to take. I think we do a good job here. I think the system has worked here.
New federal guidelines are now in place to help employees determine what's suspicious, and it will now be up to them to help spot potential terrorists before they use your money to attack the U.S. again.
Now, Nevada's been allowed to monitor itself over the years through the use of a federal exemption to an existing banking law. Our state gaming regulators could choose to request an exemption to this new plan as well. The industry insiders we spoke with today don't expect that that's going to happen, so we'll just have to wait and see on that one.
Scott, so this really doesn't change what they're doing, more on just how they're doing it, right?
Exactly, Kathy. We've actually been monitoring this within the state for several years. What's going to happen now is those monitoring systems could end up being shipped to Washington instead of up to Carson City with the Gaming Commission.
Gotcha.
All right,
okay, Scott.
Thanks. Well, some are asking this question again. How much did the government know? Today on Capitol Hill, the first public hearing on what U.S. intelligence knew about a possible attack on 9/11. In May and June of last year, national security agents picked up at least 33 transmissions that warned of possible attacks. Also in June 2001, bin Laden operatives were going underground, some preparing for martyrdom. The next month, a contact in Afghanistan told the CIA that everyone was talking about an attack. Now, the government says the information was just not specific enough to say that those attacks could have been prevented. However, Stephen Push feels differently.
If the intelligence community had been doing its job, my wife, Lisa Raines, would be alive today.
Mr. Chairman.
The Joint Congressional Committee acknowledged that mistakes were made, mistakes that need to be addressed, including the need for more analysts to process information coming in and better communication among the agencies.
Back inside Las Vegas, the company that's buying nearly 24 Raley's grocery stores here in the Valley is changing its story a little bit. New tonight, News 13 has learned that the Kroger company will allow Raley's employees to reapply for their jobs, and if they're rehired, they will get to keep the same benefits, pay, and vacation time. Originally, it was thought that those employees who put in so much time were simply going to be out of luck. Most of the 18 stores will change names. 3 will close down.
Well, Kathy, 2 down, I guess 1 to go. Take a look at this. This is how an artist envisions the new World Market Center, approved today by the Las Vegas City Council. It's a wholesale furniture market where manufacturers would design, show, and sell every type of furniture and home accessory. It will be built across the street from the Clark County Government Center. Today's approval means there are now 2 major projects underway downtown. The other, that high-end outlet mall. Well, Mayor Goodman says he's still hoping for an academic medical center to fill out the vacant downtown area, but those plans are still in the works.
Inside the West on October 7th, actress Winona Ryder will once again be the leading lady in a Southern California courtroom. It's a real-life role the troubled star has played before. Today, her attorneys and prosecutors failed to reach a plea bargain, so the case is going to trial. Ryder is accused of stealing nearly $6,000 worth of items from a Saks in Beverly Hills.
In San Diego, a man got to be a dog's best friend today. A golden retriever somehow ventured too far down
Wow.
Rescue workers were called out to help rescue that scared pooch.
Wow. And the twins who have been at UCLA's Children's Hospital since being separated at the head, well, they got a surprise visitor today. Elaine Chao, the Secretary of Labor, dropped in to see how those little girls are doing. Maria de Jesus and Maria Teresa have been slowly progressing since coming to the hospital in August.
It's just amazing to see those two alive,
Isn't that
considering what
something?
they've gone through.
Yeah. Well, another picture-perfect day here after the wind died down, of course.
That's right. What about tomorrow, though? We want to look forward. Nate's here with our wake-up forecast.
Yeah, it helps to look forward by starting with a quick look back as the low-pressure system started here and has now moved into the Intermountain West. And you're right, we did have some pretty strong winds, upwards of 30 to 35 miles an hour earlier this morning. Most of those have died down, so when you get started on your Thursday morning, I think you're going to be saying, good morning, sunshine. And actually, perhaps on the cool side for some of you, we'll say the mid-60s with light wind. We'll find out if wind will be a factor for the forecast for tomorrow and the rest of the week into the weekend when News 13 continues inside Las Vegas.
And still ahead, why is this statue causing so much controversy? The story behind it coming up.
And we together just watched Christopher Reeves and his will to walk again. Up next, we're going to meet two people who are using the same kind of treatment right here in Las Vegas.
Covering Southern Nevada, News 13 continues with Ross Becker, Kathy Ray, Nathan Tannenbaum with your complete forecast, Ron Futrell Sports, and Trisha Keene with Contact 13. This is News 13 inside Las Vegas.
And welcome back. Nate's joining us now with the big weather news.
To get my sweater out, huh?
Whatever that is.
It's almost cool out there on my way back to work this evening.
Fall is almost officially here.
Yeah, when does it begin?
9:55 Sunday evening.
You get the rest of the night
Thumbs
off.
up.
Well, no, actually, you got about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
All right.
hang out here.
Yeah,
Little
you
bit
can
more.
hang. In the meantime, we do have some numbers for you, and if you haven't checked outside or if you've got your window open for sleeping tonight, you've probably noticed. Take a look outside. There may be a cloud or two out there. Mountain cam looking down on the lights of the city. We're into the 70s here at 11 o'clock. 25% humidity. The wind less than half of what the peak gusts were earlier today. Now out of the northeast at 14 with the barometer rising to 9.92. Let's see, I don't think anybody really even got too far above 90 today. Henderson, you guys are hanging at 82 here at 11 o'clock, 81 up at Nellis Air Force Base, North Las Vegas, you're into the upper 70s. Summerlin, you're into the mid 70s here at 11, and the National Weather Service checking in at 78. And we check in elsewhere. Yet it could literally be near the freezing mark up on the mountain in the morning. It's 43 up there right now. A couple of readings in the 60s over the hump in Prump and 65 down in Kingman. Everybody else in the 70s or the 80s. Now the afternoon high only 89. That's not well below normal, but certainly a few degrees below normal. That's thanks to the cloud cover that we had off and on throughout the day, and those gusty winds will prevent the daytime temperatures from heating up too much. Low this morning was 72, but we are going to be actually probably below normal in the morning. Sun gets up at 6:26, and we'll have your air quality numbers here later on in the broadcast. For us, the bottom line is this ridge of high pressure continuing to build and hold. However, it's also been helping drive those north winds, but for the most part, those storms are gone. But man, oh man, you want to talk about storms. We'll show you the radar pictures in just a moment from the Rockies. 45 right now for Ely, 53 up in Salt Lake, still a warm 86 down in Phoenix. Let's check in on your family and friends. And you, I think, get the idea just by watching the colors move here. The warmer stuff is down to the south and some pretty cool readings. Cold air in Denver at 47. And in terms of rain, boy, there have been a lot of severe thunderstorms going on right in the middle of our country, thanks to that cold air from Canada trying to mix it up with warm air from the Gulf of Mexico. Tornado watches are over, but severe thunderstorm watches, that's what these yellow rectangles are, continuing to move through the nation's midsection. And also, Tropical Storm Isidore is headed for the western sections of Cuba, hanging over the Grand Caymans right now with top winds of 60 miles an hour. Got to get up to 74 mile an hour sustained winds to become a hurricane. Well, heading on back home, the Natecast is not that exciting, but it's nice out, and I'm sure we'll take it. 66 in the morning with breezes to 15. Wind should not be a factor tomorrow. We're pretty sure we will hit the 90. Some neighborhoods may get closer to 95. We'll take you out to the lake. You probably will top 100, but just barely, and the breezes definitely will continue to be a factor out at the lake. And here's Mount Charleston, perhaps getting down to the mid to upper 30s and only near 70 the high tomorrow. And the next 5 days taking you into the last weekend of summer. Oh, my God. Can you handle it?
I can. I love
93
fall.
Sunday, 92 Monday.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Nate.
Did you watch that ABC special tonight about paralyzed actor Christopher Reeve's improvement? Now, this is really amazing.